Hello and welcome back to the Acca Backer here on the Racing Post YouTube channel. Thank you so much for tuning in once again. We've got the gents here again, Mark Langdon and Dan Childs sitting beside me. They'll be coming up with their tips for your football accumulator for this weekend in a moment. I just want to say a big well done to Jake Marley, who was our winner of the shirt giveaway last week. We'll be in touch with you, Jake. And you've got a football shirt of your choice coming your way. Well done. Gents, we were so close last week to a fourfold. Mark, you weren't here. Were you on some kind of hot retreat again? Or?
International break. So, no, I think I might have been sports editor, so I let somebody else have a go while I was busy.
Very noble of you.
Yeah, I was busy on the Racing Post sort of newspaper.
Good stuff. And go and pick up the Racing Post newspaper. You haven't already. Dan, you both. I think you got both of your picks last week, didn't you?
Yeah. I can't be too much on my high horse. It's probably the first time in a while I've got both up. But no, we didn't quite get there overall, did we? 3 out of 4.
Now, this is going to be the week where the fourfold comes in. I'm confident of it. Mark, what's the first game in your selections?
This is probably the longest trip of the lot, isn't it? Carlisle's trip down to Plymouth.
You wouldn't want to be on the coach for that.
No, you wouldn't. Certainly not on the way back if you're a Carlisle fan. So I think Plymouth are going to win. I saw Plymouth on Saturday against Swindon. Swindon are a very good side in League Two, and I thought Plymouth were the better team in that 1-1 draw. Definitely deserved at least a share of the spoils. I thought Cooper, the guy on loan from Peterborough, made a big difference when he came on the left-hand side. George Cooper got a lot of quality in midfield. Danny Mayer, Sarcevic as well in there, and it's just a case really for them. I think, can they score enough goals? Because when Ryan Lowe did brilliantly last year with Bury, he had Nicky Maynard up front, and they haven't got a Nicky Maynard type necessarily, but they're dominating possession, they're playing really good football. I think it's a matter of time before they really start to hit the heights, and as far as Carlisle go, they're down at the wrong end of the bottom of League Two at the moment, and they've played 4 difficult away matches at Bradford and Cheltenham, Newport and Swindon. They've lost a lot, and I would say that Plymouth is of that standard of away game for them, and I don't think the journey helps either. I'm sure it is a stop off, but in terms of they've got to have a night in a hotel or whatever, but it's still not ideal, and I think the home advantage will pay in this one.
Plymouth go in the Acca Backer. Dan, what's this pick for you?
I'm going to start off in the Premier League with Bournemouth against Norwich. I just think I think Norwich over the course of the season, they've got plenty going forward with Pukki's been on form, hasn't he? In international break. A couple of great finishes, but I just think the rest of the team, there's too many injuries at the moment. 13 injuries I counted going into the international break. They've got 4 or 5 have come back into training, but doubtful how fit they're going to be and how much of an impact they're going to make in key areas. I think at centre back, Christoph Zimmermann is a big miss for them. You've got Ben Godfrey's had a hernia operation. There's doubts over whether he's going to be ready or not. I mean, highly unlikely to be 100%. Grant Hanley got his injury problems as well. So at centre back, big problems. And I just think against Bournemouth, you look at how they've done this season, they're 10th in the league. The 3 defeats they've had have all been against big 6 sides. They lost 3-1 to Manchester City, lost 1-0 against Arsenal as well. And the other games, they've had 3 wins and 2 draws against not non-big 6 teams, but non-teams in the top 4. Leicester was the other defeat there. So they've lost their 3 games against teams in the top 4.
You're almost counting Leicester as a top 6 team these days,
in a way. I mean, that might be the case, by the end of the season. So their form against sides outside the top 4 is really, really solid. And going forward, you've got Callum Wilson, 5 goals this season. Josh King's only got 2, but he has got that pace on the counter-attack that's going to really expose this injury-ravaged Norwich back 4. So Bournemouth goes in there for me.
Another team against Norwich going the Acca Backer, and they usually come in as well. Mark, what's your second pick, mate?
We're going from sort of a team that's very cold away from home in Norwich, really struggling, to one that I really like at home, and that's Sevilla in the league on Sunday evening. They beat Sociedad in their last home game, and I thought they played really well. They left it late before they won the game 3-2 to sort of seal the points, but the performance against a good Sociedad team was absolutely outstanding. Next time up, they lost 4-0 away to Barcelona, and you're thinking, they've been absolutely pumped. But it was anything but. Luke de Jong missed a number of chances for them. Some of the goals Barcelona scored were absolutely unreal. Messi got a free kick, Suarez scored an absolute beauty, and that can happen against Barcelona, but at home, Sevilla, a team I really like.
Brilliant. Dan, do you agree?
Yeah, for Sevilla have been a strong team at home traditionally down the years, isn't they? They're not a team. I think when if you're looking for an away bet in La Liga, you'd have to think long and hard before you put a side in going to Sevilla.
Brilliant. And what's your second pick, Dan?
I'm going to go for West Brom away to Middlesbrough in the Championship. I think Jonathan Woodgate, he's gone into a tough job there. And I know he's an ex-Middlesbrough player and he's been on the coaching staff, but I think the time he's gone in there, Tony Pulis has left a squad that's, I think, is a little bit unbalanced, lost a few key players as well. Mo Bezic was an influential player on loan there last season, and I think the budget's gradually being cut as well. Each year they're out the Premier League, I think it's tough for them to comply with financial fair play, and I think against that, West Brom is a good team to go there. I mean, they lost some key players as well in the summer. Lost Jay Rodriguez, departed to Burnley. Dwight Gale's loan spell ended. I think he's back at Newcastle now. But they've bought so well to replace those players. You look at Matias Pereira, who's coming on loan from Sporting Lisbon. I've watched him a few times this season. He looks an outstanding talent for me. Grady Diangana, obviously the link there with Slaven Bilic coming in. He's brought him in on loan from West Ham. Matt Phillips, who was injured for a lot of last season, he's come back right to the top of his game at the moment. And Charlie Austin, who's come in, he's had a slow start to the season, but centre forwards often just need a goal to spark them off. And he was on target in their game. They won 4-2 before the international break home to Cardiff. He scored in that, so I would expect him now to start going on a goal-scoring run as well. I just think they've got far too much going forward for Middlesbrough, who were awful. I actually fancied them in the game when they played away to Birmingham, but they were battered at Birmingham, lost 2-1, should have been a lot heavier defeat. So I think this is a tougher game. Go for West Brom.
West Brom go in the Acca Backer. They were also heavily backed in the Football Postcast. Go and check that out on our YouTube channel and podcast channels as well. That's the fourfold. That's wrapped up. We've got a wild card each. Make them count. Mark, we'll go to you first.
I'm going to go for Oxford to win at Rotherham and over 2.5 goals, just to bump up the price a little bit. They're already outsiders to win, but I'm struggling to see where Oxford should be outsiders against anybody at the moment, the way they're playing. 14 goals in their last 4 league matches. I mean, that's an astonishing return. Includes a 6-0 win at Lincoln. Cole Robinson, not everybody's cup of tea. I think it's fair to say, as a coach, can be a little bit smug when things are going right for him. He claimed that there were 50 scouts at the game last week when they won. Absolutely destroyed Doncaster 3-0. Donny didn't even have a shot on target. It was 9 shots on target to Oxford, and Matty Taylor, the star striker, was ill, so he didn't even play. So Oxford are flying, as well as those 14 goals in the last 4 matches. That doesn't include the fact they smashed West Ham 4-0 in the EFL Cup as well. And the joke going around was that Oxford played their reserves, never mind West Ham played theirs. So look, they're playing really well, Oxford. Rotherham, I respect Rotherham, and I expected them to be right up the top of League One. That hasn't quite happened for Paul Warren's team at the moment. They have won their last 2 matches in the league, and I think that's just bumped up the price, but I wasn't massively impressed with their sort of stats in the 2-1 victory at Blackpool last time out. Sounds like the goalkeeper Everson was man of the match, and Blackpool hit the woodwork a couple of times as well. So I think they've taken a step up in class against Oxford, who have got, I think, as good a chance of winning the game as what Rotherham have. And I think the way Oxford are playing, you can bump up that price nicely by going for the over 2.5 as well.
Sounds like a solid bet to me. Dan, what about you?
Yeah, I mean, I'd like that one as well. I mean, you're thinking about a lot to be smug about. He probably has, when he was 6-0 against Lincoln, and the 4-0 against West Ham. They made, as Mark mentioned, changed half the team for that game as well, and shows the squad they've got. But I'm going to go for sticking in the same division, Wimbledon at home to Portsmouth. I often look at teams when they change a manager just to see if there's any difference in how they're playing. And I know they've had some easier games, Wimbledon. They beat Rochdale 3-2. At home, and then they've gone to Southend and won 4-1. It was Glyn Hodges who came in. He's in there temporarily at the moment. Wally Downs has had a suspension for an FA betting charge. But every performance since Glyn Hodges has come in has been an improvement. The first was away to Peterborough. They lost 3-2. Very tough away game. Played well. He's brought in some players that weren't being used before. Young left back Paul Osu, 18-year-old's come in. Central midfield player on loan from Brighton, Max Sanders, who's come in. It seems to be playing well as well. Anthony Wordsworth has been injured, but he's come back into the side. I think he came on as a sub, a game that you were at actually when they drew at home to Bristol Rover.
They lost to Bristol Rover. Didn't deserve to lose that game, and it wasn't until Force got sent off that they actually sort of let the game slip. And he's a massive threat. He is up front for them.
And the other, the big threat for him is Force, as you mentioned, 7 goals in 6 games this season. Brentford, think highly of him. So did Finland. He was called up to the Finland under-21s for the last international break, but after a little bit of to and fro, they agreed for him to stay with Wimbledon, and he got a hat-trick in the 4-1 win at Southend. So I think they're a team on the up, Wimbledon. They're also their style of play has changed. Apparently they're playing a little bit more football than they were under Wally Downs. And the other side of it, I just think Portsmouth, although they've got 7 points in the last 3 games, a lot of murmurs of discontent down there. The win against Bolton, who are struggling, wasn't a convincing victory, and I looked at their performance at the weekend. They drew at home to Gillingham.
Let the Acca Backer down.
Yeah, let the Acca Backer down. A game that you really, if you're going to be pushing for the top 6 or even top 2 that have been targeted at the start of the season, you've got to be looking to take 3 points there. Gillingham have just dug out a result. Portsmouth didn't seem to create that many chances. Raggett, the centre-back, hit the post with a first-half header, but not many chances. If you're going to play like that home to Gillingham, then away to Wimbledon, the way they're playing, I think that's a slightly tougher game. And Wimbledon, decent prices, I think, are worth chancing.
Good points, well made. Thank you very much for watching this week's edition of the Acca Backer. Please do shop around for the best prices. If you've got any other fancies for the week, please do feel free to let us know down in the comment section below. Thanks to Mark, thanks to Dan. Head over to Racing Post Sport for more football best tips, and we'll see you very soon. Bye-bye.